will be looking at integrated Azure OpenAI with ChatGPT onto Power Platform solutions. We'll be seeing few Azure AI models and how it helps with business process solving and automation, and also helps the users with AI powered insights to do their activities based on the business use cases, and also how to integrate ChatGPT with Power Apps, Teams, and Power Automate Desktop. So that gives you the facility and features to stay within Power Platform. Rather, you would have to go to the third party ChatGPT website to get those insights. The solution components used in this demo are ChatGPT tokens, Azure AI Builder, and OpenAI services, premium connector with Dataverse, and Power Platform. Let's move on to the demo and see how it all works together. I'm on my mobile device here, and that's the app that I built. In the homepage, you could give some insights to the business users on what this app is all about, so they know what to ask the questions to the ChatGPT and how it could be productive for them. We get into the app. As you can see, there's quite a bit of information in here in terms of the models that's been used. All the models from top to bottom, except for ChatGPT and Bot GPT powered, are native to Azure AI, the likes of text recognition, sentiment analysis, language detection, entity extraction, and business card scanner. It's all built in one place within the Power App, so the user can just use one app and work on all these functionalities that's available to them. So let's go one by one and then see how it all flows together. The first one is text recognition. And what we do here is we can upload a manual or handwritten or old invoices or purchase orders or receipts or scanners or any document that you want to digitalize and take that input for next best actions. In my other demo, you would have seen I've used receipt scanner model to receive to scan the receipt and then take those details and automatically punch the expense report. So that's one of the use cases. In here, what we will be doing is uploading few old images and see how we could extract those text automatically in real time. So I have few sample documents in here. Some are modern documents and some are very old handwritten documents. So we will see all the use cases right away. As you can see at the top, Azure AI Builder has been trained to capture the necessary details. And this could be your invoice, it could be your procurement order, or it could be any document, a handwritten or a payslip or anything for that matter. The system automatically captures all these inputs and puts that into a text format. You could take this into a table format, or you can take it as a JSON input, or you can take it in an XML or CSV or XLX. But for the purpose of a demo on a mobile device, I'm just giving it as a free text. Now let's use another file, which is probably 100 years old, if you will, and a handwritten invoice. And we will see how best the Azure AI Builder using the text recognition model captures those details. As you can see at the top, this is the old invoice handwritten in 1982. And the system captures almost all of the detail that is required for us to work on or for us to archive these details or whatever use case that may be that you wanted to utilize this for. It's a very powerful tool and very helpful in terms of automation examples. We'll take a look at one more invoice and then we move on to the next model. Follows the same concept, handwritten, very old invoice, and it does capture all the details accurately. Now, going back, we would look into sentiment analysis. It's a very straightforward model where it captures the input from the users. It could be your customer, customer's customer, your supplier, dealer, vendor, distributor, reseller, or your own employee who kind of works with you in terms of sales and marketing, customer service. And when they interact, they could interact through public websites or e-commerce portal or in your customer support portal. In those cases, you could plug this model and gather those sentiments that's coming from various medias. And it's particularly useful if you can plug this into your chatbot. And also, if you could plug this with your e-commerce portal, the system automatically captures the sentiments, and it captures good, bad, and neutral sentiment. For example, if I say it's expensive, it would throw in a different sentiment, which is negative. But the goal here is you use the sentiment analysis in use cases like customer service, customer support, marketing, channel marketing, and sales to capture the feedback from your customer and your customer's customers. Now, the third one is language detection. And if you have a multilingualistic team or a company which has operations across multiple geography, comes in handy, and you could detect those languages. Not only detect, but you could also translate those and then type those emails in the language that the customer wants, or your user wants, or your end user wants. Now, I'll be switching to the email translator. Again, uses the Azure AI model after this, but I want to show you the first step, which is language detection. As you can see, it detects that it's a German language. Okay. Uh, Hold on a bit. I will show you the Azure email translator as well. Now, the next one is entity extraction, and we'll come to ChatGPT in a short while. So, this is very useful when you have invoices and documents, ledgers, annual report, emails from executives, customers, and other priority content that needs to be quickly read, vetted, and just capture the key things for your um, next meeting or update to your manager or executive. That's where it's very useful. Plus, you could also use this in your use cases where you have to extract some of those key inputs. Let's say it could be from your email or a document that's coming from your vendor, supplier, or distributor, and automatically trigger an alert through email or trigger an alert in Teams. That's totally possible. What I've done is I've typed a sample text just to save time. And you could type any text for that matter. And then we kind of feed that into the entity extraction tool. And when you click on extract, the AI model works in the background and it produces this result, which gives you a key entities that's coming from the top text. Now, because I'm using the mobile device, I'm just giving you one paragraph, but in real cases, you would want to feed in, let's say, thousands and thousands of characters and words and paragraphs, and the system would break that into key entities. For example, as you can see here, it captures 62%. It captures the revenue, which is 3 million, dates and number of employees and stuff like that. Now, my model is score is zero point 0.8, somewhere between zero point 0.8 and 0.86, but there's room for improvement. You could take this to zero point 0.9 and above, which gives you quality output. So you could always train this model. And this is done on purpose to show you, what could we do better to get more clear insights, right? So there's always room to train this model. For example, if you see here, it takes this number 10,250, but it doesn't tell me it's an employee count. So there's room for training this model, and I did this on purpose, which means, though we give you the out-of-the-box AI model based on your business use cases, based on your business processes, based on your needs, you can train the model to perfection. Okay. Now, business card scanner. This is very helpful and handy when we meet people in business, in personal, or it could be a sales event or a conference where we share the physical business card. Again, if you can avoid the physical business card, you probably could contribute some percentage of sustainability goals as well. So we could either take a picture on a phone and move on, but there is some automation here in some simplicity as well. For example, I'm going to choose a random business card which I downloaded from the internet. This is not my approved document. So the system would scan the card pretty faster, and it captures all the details that you want to. I did not capture the email and phone on purpose, just not to show that here in a demo, because it's not my business card. Now, the automation or the simplicity comes in when you could add this to Outlook contact automatically. As you can see here, I added this contact to Outlook, and then I forget it. I don't need to really take a picture and store it on my phone. In this case, I'm using an iPad tablet. Let's see if we could scan one more sample card and show you how it works. So that is where the value is, adding that contact into Outlook. Of course, this particular person doesn't have his job title on the card, so you don't get that. So if I click on Add as Outlook contact, the system would add that into the Outlook contact. So far we have seen text recognition, or form recognizer, if you will, sentiment analysis, language detection, entity extraction, business card scanner. We will quickly see ChatGPT and then move on to language translator, which I talked about. I'm going to go into ChatGPT. And this ChatGPT right now, what you see here is integrated within the Power App. So I'm not toggling between the screens. I'm within the Power App. So you have an option to integrate that into the Power Apps using the ChatGPT connector, or you could use the third-party website, in a standalone mode. But I feel this is much productive. For example, it's going to give you a Q&A type answers. As you all know, we could ask some questions. So I have some sample questions and see what ChatGPT has to say. So it's saying it's 1.4 billion for 2021 annual sales. And likewise, you can keep asking it question and you would keep getting the answers. Show me the nearest vending machine, if you will. That could be another question. So it will go ahead and start giving you the addresses. Now I'm using the open data sources. And if you could train the chat GPT to on your own data, you would get even more accurate results. That could be the next step in the enterprise world where you wanted the chat GPT to talk to your data in a secure way. What I'm using is an open chat GPT. But I'm using it within the context of Power Apps. So let's go back to our original Power Apps. So we kind of seen almost most of these features. And now what we would also see is we could see how it works in Teams, right? So that's another interesting integration that's available for the users. So I'm going to copy that text and I'm going to go to Teams, and I have a ChatGPT channel here, and I'll ask ChatGPT some of those questions as well. So what you're seeing here is in Teams, I'm asking ChatGPT. So you can either stay within the Teams, have that integrated with ChatGPT, or you could have it within Power Apps. So it's giving you another result in terms of the Coca-Cola annual revenue. So that's how you could utilize ChatGPT within a Teams channel. Okay, so that kind of completes the ChatGPT integration with Power Apps and with Teams. What we will now do is we will go back to Power Automate and see how it works together. I mean, the ChatGPT and Power Automate. So what you see here right now is the Power Automate desktop, where you have millions of automation possibilities that you see here on the left hand corner. What I've done here is I'm calling the web services from OpenAI, and I'm trying to ask some questions through Power Automate Desktop. Now, this could be unattended and particularly useful in the context of technical use cases where you want an unattended chat GPT to trigger some inputs and get those inputs or read those inputs and then feed into the next best action. This is not for citizen developer, but this is more for our tech folks to try it out on a Power Automate desktop. So it uses the same principle and concept, but we're going to convert a JSON script into an outcome. Let's say, or let's ask, let's go locate it. So it says it's available in many countries. Likewise, you can keep asking questions. It could be a one-on-one questions with ChatGPT. And the point here is it is using Power Automate Desktop. So you saw ChatGPT in Teams, in Power Apps, and now in Power Automate. And finally, I would like to show you the Azure Language Translator because we did see the language detection a few minutes ago. We might as well want to see, how best we could, move from language detection to language translator. All right. So I'm going to use my web client here. It's again using Power Apps, and I built a small app here where you could, look for the user's ID from your GAL, and it automatically picks, or from your Azure Active Directory. And I could compose an email to my colleagues in different country who prefer their own local language. All right. And what you saw in the other model is detecting the language. Here you're going to see the translation, and which is again going to be automatic. So Coke annual report 2024. I want to translate that to, let's say Greek, Spanish. There are many options that you have, whatever languages that you prefer, you wanted to. You could choose from A to Z that's available here. Demo purpose, let's pick Polish. Okay, Coke annual report for 2024 is out. And it, well, let's keep it short for now. It's demo purpose. So as you can see, as I keep typing it in English, it translates. And if I drop down this and change to other language, it automatically changes. So you don't need to really, delete this, the typed ones, and then you would have to select this language again. So there's lots of possibilities, and I believe this is pretty useful, and it kind of pretty much helps when you don't have to really do a lot of manual work. If you want to do it in Mandarin, that's totally possible. I'm just showing you all the art of possibilities using this particular Azure Language Translator AI model. Now it's done. I've chosen the user. I can choose other colleagues as well. Let's say Jeff is also in my Active Directory, and if I choose Jeff, you could add another person as well. But for now, I'll just send it to myself. And I click on this button, the email would be sent to that person. It says email sent successfully. Now I have to move to Outlook and then show you, if that email has come in. So what I also did is I've kind of configured Outlook within Power Apps. It's nothing but using the Outlook connector. So if I click on this Outlook, it'll open up Power Apps, which is nothing but an Outlook. Instead of moving to Outlook, I just thought I would create the Outlook within the Power Apps. And this is exactly what we typed and we sent a few minutes ago, and that's what you see here. This is the message that's went out, and what you see here is in Power Apps with Outlook embedded. If you want to really see that in a proper Outlook, and that's totally possible as well, I just want to show you, those ways there where we could, make Power Apps very powerful and very productive. And this is the traditional Power Apps, Outlook, and this is the Outlook within Power Apps. With this, we almost come to the end of the demo, and I hope it was useful. We did cover quite a bit of features of Azure